Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri. The first sutra itself clears everything. Chaitanya Atma. See, in 13th chapter, Bhagavan talks about Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. And there the Kshetra is explained as Sanghatas Chetana Dhruti. See? Other things you know. Raga, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sangatas, Chetana, Dhriti. So, Chetana and Chaitanya. See, we say consciousness is a vaguely defined or used term. So, what is the difference between Chetana and Chaitanya? Normally we misunderstand Chetana means consciousness. And here Chaitanya is consciousness. So what is the difference between the two? Chaitanyam Atma means Atma is neither the body, nor the sense organs, nor the prana, nor the mind, nor the individual, Vyakti, what we call soul, is not the Atma. Now in this we are able to appreciate that the gross body, the prana, the mind, etc. is not Atma. But then what is Atma? We say consciousness, and make a very sweet little blunder. Chetana and Chaitanya, Chaitanya expresses as Chetana. Chetana is life. Life is not Paramatma. Life is not Atma. Normally what we understand that some devotees of Bhagavan Krishna, they say, I went to Govardhan and I just happened to, for no reason, take one stone and threw it. When that stone hit the other stone, there was blood coming out. God was hurt. See? So blood or life, that is not consciousness or Chaitanya. That is Chetana. Where life is spoken of, we talk about inertness also. Then what will happen? That living beings are God, but the inert world is not God. And what Vedanta tells us? That Brahma is simultaneously the efficient and material cause of this world. Yugapat, simultaneously the material and efficient cause. But when we say life and inertness, Chetana and Achetana, these are the two expressions of Chaitanya. If this is accepted, understood, then as much Paramatma is in the living being, so much Paramatma is in the inert world also. Then only when I touch this Shiva, so this Shiva is not a alamban, a support, a pratik. When I touch this Shiva statue, I touch directly Shiva, because he is the material cause. See? So, Chaitanya Atma means that experience which does not involve any means or authority of knowledge. See? Pramana nirapeksha anubhuti. Pramana nirapeksha means what? Colors and forms are known by the eyes. So eyes are the pramana, means of authority, because of which the colors and forms are established. For a blind person, if he says, I have seen, it was such a beautiful flower, so we accept, okay, must be there. But he doesn't have pramana, how can you say something? So, experiencing cold and heat, pramana is our skin, tvagendriya. Experiencing joy and sorrows, pramana is the mind. If you have got something somewhere and they give you local anesthesia, and after that they start cutting your finger here and there, you don't get pain, because that particular area is observing localized chemical meditation. Mind has not entered. Therefore, pain and sorrows are not experienced. So, for experiencing the pain and sorrows, pramana is mind. For experiencing the concepts, short, long, or short, tall, round, square, small, big, these are concepts. For that, intellect is the instrument, pramana. Chaitanya Atma, for experience our own being, what means of knowledge are required? How much time, effort, energy, practice is required for the wife to know that she is a woman? Much lesser than this is the need, requirement to know Chaitanya Atma. Now the question comes, if this is true, then where from the bondage has come? Where the bondage has come? In Ashtavakra Gita, very clearly indicates the biggest mistake that you do, Janaka, that you want to do meditation. Dhyatum tvam ichchasi. Don't do meditation. See? Chaitanya Atma. When we give importance to the duality, then Chetana and Jada, Jada Chetana. See? Sa Chara Charam. Chara, Chetana, Achara, Jada. Vyaptam Jena Chara Charam. So as much the Chaitanya is supporting the sentient world and the experiences, that much the Chaitanya is also supporting the inert and the inanimate world. It's common. Therefore, in the Vedantic terminology, they say, when Drashtu avachinna Chaitanya and Drishya avachinna Chaitanya, when they become one, the experience takes place. So it is something like cathode and anode. See, in both the wires there is electricity, but the manifestation is not happening. In the same manner, the experiencer is Chaitana Yukta, so Chaitanya, and the objective world is also Chaitanya Yukta, but there the Chaitanya is manifesting only as existence. That's the only difference. So when these two, cathode and anode, they come together, when the drashta drishya comes together, the knowledge happens. That knowledge happens in Chaitanya. That is Chaitanya Atma. Now this difference of knower and known, till this is valid, we are far away from the Chaitanya. But when we are clear about what is meant by Chaitanya, then the duality of experiencer and experiencer disappears. When this duality disappears, there is no duality, then dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. The fear comes if there is a duality. If there is no duality, no fear. There was a mountaineer like this, Himalayas. He was going along with this group. And it so happened that he got lost on the way. Others went somewhere, he was all alone with a backpack and a small tent, and he didn't know where to go, what to do and all that, confused. So the best thing is that, let me, pitch my tent and sleep there. What else can be done? So he did it, and he said, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And with all that fear, and ultimately fell asleep. And when he fell asleep, naturally he started his Omkaranad. Krrr, krrr. And smelling the human being, the tiger came. And when he came near that tent, this fellow was snoring. Krrr, krrr. Tiger got frightened and ran away. Now see, the duality was not there for the man. He was not afraid. But the duality was valid for the tiger. He was afraid. See, so Chaitanya is that experience where duality is not valid, although duality is experienced. Therefore, sometimes our tongue gets bitten by our teeth. Thereafter the tongue is not afraid. I hope it doesn't bite again. Oh, Bapre, both sides there are terrible teeth. No fear. Because there we experience Chaitanya. See, friends, Chaitanya Atma therefore means Pramana Nirapeksha Anubhuti. That experience which does not demand any authority of knowledge. That is why Kenopanishad says that Yadi manyase suvedeti daharameva pinunam tvam vitta brahmano rupam yadasyatvam atha deveshu mimam samevate manye viditam. So what you have understood is with reference to the sense organs. See, yan manasana manute yena ahur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadinupasate. That which is making the mind function in its own field, but that which cannot be known by the mind, that is the Brahman. That Brahman you are, you have to simply know it, not bajao ghanti all the time. So yes, I understood. So what he has understood? He has understood Brahman with reference to Deva means sense organs. Yes chakshusha na pashyati, yes shrotrena na shrunoti. So his understanding was with reference to the sense organs. Therefore the teacher says, Daharameva nunam tvam vetta brahmano rupam. You understood, but very little, because if there is no reference, you cannot even imagine what it is. See? His understanding was like the small child. In one of my camps, I was talking to them of 5 elements. So just to tell, earth takes oil. This is the earth. The children understood. Then water, fire, air. See? That is air. Now space, so I told the children in the camp, see, do you see in between something? Yes. That is space. Oh, understood. And then I usually had to go to somebody's place for breakfast. So the mother asks, what did you learn from Swamiji in the camp? Oh, we learned, Mami, 5 elements, not 1, 5. And it was all very clear. Earth, air, very good. Now space. Swamiji, yes. Will you please do like this? I did like this. Mummy, in between. So for him the space was only in between my fingers, not anywhere else. So his understanding was, Atanu Deveshu, what you have understood is the reference to the sense organs. See? And when the teacher says, no, go again, so then what he says, Nona vedeti vedacha, yenastad veda tad veda, nona vedeti vedacha. He who has understood that the truth cannot be understood, in this way he who understands, he alone has understood. In this way I have understood. And in this way he who understands, he alone has understood. Others have not understood. See? That means all pramana vyapar or involvement of means of knowledge are deleted. Now analyze your own experience. I am this experience. Is it established by the sense organs? Hey, are you there? Wait a minute, I will switch on the light and see. No. See? Are you there? Let me hold myself. Whether I am there or not. No. You can't hold yourself. Are you there? Let me feel. No. See? Once I was in Juhu, Bombay. There was one of these Osho sannyasis, and they have called me. Our biggest master is coming, Swamiji, please come. I don't have any, brand name. Therefore, I am a generic product, fitted everywhere. So I was called there. And then I was sitting, when he came, all with a pant shirt and with a big gown. On that he came and sat. Everybody was given flower, and so they offered. I went, did namaskar. There was a person with me, Swamiji, you don't go. What is this man? What namaskar to do? I said, yaar, I do to the stone, he's a living one. Living stone. So I did namaskar and sat. And then he started. Awareness is an outdated word. You should feel. What? And the whole audience. See, it is not in the purview of sense organs, organs of action, mind or intellect. You can't have conception about the truth. In one university in US, after my talk was over, the professor came, professor of philosophy. He said, Mr. Swami, you have presented the concepts very well. I said, sir, I am sorry, I don't agree with you. You are a professor is a concept. You are intelligent is a concept. You are is not a concept. See? So, Chaitanya therefore means that experience which does not require any means of knowledge. See? Therefore, to say I know and to say I do not know, both are wrong and both are right. See? Like this example I give a number of times. This happened in my flight from London to Bombay. When I was, standing near the toilet for 10 minutes just to relax the feet. So one lady came from Bombay. First man came. And he comes and asks me, "Are you Swami?" There's no need to talk in English. I understand Hindi, "Are you Swami?" Like this to his finger. "Are you Swami?" I thought, "This is terrorizing me or what?" I said, "Any objection?" No, "Are you Swami?" I kept quiet. You can't repeat again and again. So he looked behind. His wife called him. Meaning you even don't know how to talk. Come here. These are all actions, He went back and she got up. And then she came. "Excuse me, do you know Swami Anubhavananda? He looks exactly like you. I see him on TV. He looks like you. Do you know him?" I said, "Yes, no." "Yes, because I know." "No, because I don't know as you know, someone other than you." So in case of the truth Chaitanya, whatever you talk is right and whatever you talk is not right. Therefore, maunam vyakya prakatita parabrahma tattvam vivanam. One of the most important spiritual practice is mouthshut.com. Never get involved in any controversy in life. Any controversy. Because whenever we get involved in any controversy, Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad to Uddhavji, when you get involved in any controversy, you give a status of reality to that. See? And then you start suffering. How simple it is. Do we ever comment on our shadow? That day I was, thrilled. What happened? I was standing right in front of Lord Shiva. Sun was behind, evening 5 o'clock. And my shadow, so lucky, directly landed on Shivalinga. But afterwards I felt very bad. Why? When I went out and standing in the compound, on my shadow, one doggy came and he did first of all Atma Pradakshina and then Purnamadaha Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Amaha Abhishek. I felt like taking bath. We don't talk because the shadow is not a reality for us. Think, friends. In the morning when I was going, early morning started about 7 o'clock, sun was just up in the sky and my shadow was long. I was so happy. But as the sun went up there, my shadow started becoming small, to what extent? At 12 o'clock I was standing on my own shadow. Has anybody said anything about it? Because shadow we do not give the value of reality. Till such time we have value for this world as real. Till then only is we have so many things to do and achieve in this world. See, friends, in Dehradun, many years before, one girl came, a journalist, "Swamiji, I am from such and such newspaper. I have come to take your interview. I will ask some questions and you may reply. If you want, I can leave the questions, prepare." I said, "No, I don't prepare." So she was asking, she got frustrated. Finally she said, "Will you please answer at least last question properly?" I said, "Depends. How do you like to leave your footprints in this world when you leave this world?" I said, "Mama, before I die, you will die." So you will not be able to see my footprints. So why worry? She never expected this answer. Then I said, who leave the footprints? Those who walk in the mud. A bird doesn't leave a footprint in this world. I don't want to leave any footprint in this world. Who will walk in this mud? Unless you are a muddy-headed fool. See, friends, when you take this stand in life, then Chaitanya Mahatma becomes Hastamalakavat. Like an apple in your hand, no doubt about it. This doubt-free experience of our just being. Here also the language becomes important. It is not experience of being. Experience and being is one. Sat and Chit is one. They are not two. Chaitanya Mahatma. If this is true, why everybody doesn't know this? Question comes. So the answer is Jnanam Bandaha, the next mantra. Because they are very much erudite scholars. They know everything. And therefore they don't know. Jnanam Bandaha. Jnanam Bandaha. See, if you read these two sutras together, how it will read? Chaitanya Mahatma Jnanam Bandaha. It becomes Chaitanya Mahatma Jnanam. If you put the avagraha, it becomes Ajnanam Bandaha. Now this knowledge that we talk about, in fact it is not knowledge. It is ignorance. And ignorance doesn't mean absence of knowledge. Most of the students or the Vedantic teachers, they make this terrible blunder. Ignorance means absence of knowledge. Knowledge cannot be absent. See, Sat is Chit. How can the knowledge be absent? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Knowledge cannot be absent. So ignorance means, I don't know myself. No, it is not that. I know myself, but I don't know who am I. See, people call me fool. They are underestimating you. We agree. See, friends, very simple. So, jnanam or ajnanam or incomplete knowledge is bondage. See? If I take that only the tongue I am and teeth I am not, samsara will begin. But for me, as much tongue I am, so much the teeth I am. And therefore, when the tongue is beaten by the teeth, the tongue doesn't take them to the dentist. Remove. No. And when the tongue goes and digs between the two teeth, the teeth don't say, thank you darling, you are always useful. No. Because there is no difference between I as the tongue and I as the teeth. Meaning, although there is a business conducted between the doer and the done, knower and the known, yet there is no differentiation on account of the duality. See the difference? This jnanam, vitiated knowledge, when I say only this body I am, other bodies I am not, immediately samsara begins. See? But when I am able to appreciate and experience and live that knowledge, that as much this body I am, through every body I am alone expressing. Now take this thing very deeply in your understanding. Will the electrical energy have this notion, this tube light illuminating Lord Shiva is me, that tube light illuminating the toilet is not me? No. So when this tube light illuminates the toilet, it doesn't become sinful, and this illuminating the Lord, the temple, doesn't become meritorious. And there is no difference for electricity. Now leave electricity, come to yourself. Our mind alone expresses through various holes as hearing, listening, etc., smelling, tasting, touching. So, does the mind have this kind of notion, I like the eyes but I don't like the nose? No. So what is the meaning? Jnanam bandha. When I limit my understanding with the limitation of the upadhi through which I am expressing, that becomes bondage. But that doesn't mean I have become many. See, take a daily example. One man, with reference to his father, is called as son. With reference to his wife, he is called as husband. And with reference to his son, he is called as father. Now, has he become three? He has not become three. And who is miserable? These three. Where they are nowhere. See, friends, Jnanam bandha means this vitiated knowledge that expression through the limitation creates an imagination of suffering. That means there is no suffering at all in life. Suffering is an illusion. There is no suffering. Therefore, Jnanam bandha, this knowledge gathered through the limitations is called as the bondage. This is called as in Vedanta, avidya or ignorance or maya. Here it is called as ajnanam. Technically speaking, it is called as anva mala. In this inquiry, in this path, there are 4 paths. Like we have got karma, bhakti, jnana, and they are also called yoga. Yoga is not a path. So 4 of them they call it. So here it is anva mala. Anva mala means mala, impurity pertaining to the anu. Anu means jiva. In the Jain philosophy they use this word anu for the jiva. So anva mala pertaining to anu, that means that because of which the Paramatma starts assessing or imagining himself to be the jiva, that is called as anva mala. Mamayavansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. So that Paramatma has as if become the jiva, jiva bhuta. Then, because of this anva mala, the essential nature of one's being is clouded, is not completely known. Then comes the mayiya mala. Mayiya mala means the impurities because of the maya. Maya is the various kinds of sense organs. Miyate anaya iti maya. That which reduces something through measurement is called as maya. Like when you talk about space and when we talk about distance, 1 kilometer. So 1 kilometer is only a measurement, it is not space. When we talk about 1 liter milk, so we talk about only measurement of milk. In the same manner, whatever I see by my eyes, from the violet to the red, Vibgyor spectrum of light waves, if I see that and I say beyond that there is nothing, then I am under the influence of the Maya. By the ears, human beings can hear only certain spectrum of decibels, sound waves. Beyond that, if we cannot hear, we say nothing exists beyond that. Meaning, our present understanding is whatever is experienced through the limitations of the sense organs, mind and intellect, that alone is the ultimate truth. This is called as Mayiya Mala, and this has no validity. Imagine if one has accepted whatever is seen by the human eyes, that alone is real. So, the X-ray would never have been born. Satyajit Ray may be born. X-ray will never be born. Because the light waves which are beyond the perception of the eyes, they are also existing. Raman rays, there is one Raman effect. See? Therefore, Maya Mala is the limitation on the mind born out of the limitations of the faculties through which it is gathered, and insisting that is the only truth. And when we insist that is the only truth, next step comes. Then karmic mala, then we start getting into activity. So, anva mala, maya mala and the karma mala pertaining to karma. And then karma mala is karma phala. And we are totally lost in this punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Therefore, there are 4 paths indicated in this path. One is anupaya. Anupaya means it is not the means. Nobody can tell how it happens. It happens. It's true. There is no logic, there is no reason, there is no sadhana, there is no nothing. We come across many such great masters. Like, in case of the Hasta Malak, he was just like a mad child, not at all interested in anything. His parents thought he is mad. And when he was maybe around his teenage, early teenage, Bhagwan Shankaracharya, when he asked him, and Hasta Malakiyam he brought out. See? So, Anupaya, therefore nothing is spoken about it. Only name is given. Anupaya, blank, next. Then comes this Shambhavopaya. Shambhavopaya pertaining to Shambhu, Lord Shiva. And this Udyamo Bhairavaha, it will come in this thing, the third mantra, Udyamo Bhairavaha, that is the one where the truth is predominant in our experience. And this truth is hidden as if because of the limitations of the upadhi, therefore it is jnanam bandhaha. And when this knowledge becomes the bondage, so this incomplete knowledge, is this the bondage only? No, there are some more factors also. Which are more factors? So jnanam bandhaha, and you can add cha afterwards, yoni vargaha kala shariram cha. Then it will become complete in understand. Don't add. He is not original. I am just adding it, make it explain. So, yoni is the source of the objective world. Yoni. And vargaha means all the various facets of that yoni. Like the Pancha-bhutas and their combination, all kinds of things falls in the purview of the varga. So, yoni vargaha, this Maya and the horde of its classes is also the cause of bondage, and Kala Shariram. Kala is activity. See. Nritya Kala, Gayan Kala, Sangeet Kala, this is activity, and Shariram is the form of activity. Now, these 3 things according to Vedanta, according to this philosophy, same. In Vedanta, what is the Hridaya Granthi? Avidya Kama Karma. Avidya, incomplete knowledge, that I am incomplete. The world is the source which can give me completeness. Therefore, desire about the worldly things, and to fulfill the desire, karma is done. So, what is called as Avidya Kama Karma, Hridaya Granthi in Vedanta Shastra, the same is referred here through this mantra, the Jnanam Bandhaha and Yoni Varga Kala Shariram is one and the same thing. But when you don't take them in the right perspective, that we are not interested in finding out faults, but see the truth is revealed or not. So, Yoni Vargaha Kala Shariram. And this is the cause of the bondage. Therefore, what is the cause of bondage? Cause of bondage according to Vedanta is these Avidya Kama Karma. Here it is this two. Jnanam Bandhaha, Yoni Vargaha, Kala Shariram Cha. So there are also 3, here also 3. It is one and the same thing. They are not different, words are different. Kala Shariram, see there are 5 limitations accepted in this philosophy, and they are also the same. First is kala. Kala means like moon is 17th. Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashti, Navami, Dashmi, Purnamasi. And Amavasya. How many? 16. And what is the moon? 17th. So are there 17 moons? Moon is only one. But this Chandrakala is bringing a part of it. In the same manner, the first limitation is of the Maya is Kala, wherein one is not able to bring out the complete potentiality, only a part of it. So somebody is good in singing, somebody is good in dancing, somebody good in sleeping, like that. Kala. And then Vidya. Vidya is the limitation brought in terms of the knowledge. See, somebody knows one particular field easily, other person doesn't know. See, some people are very good in mathematics, others are good in commerce, third are good in business. Not in all, because Vidya, limitation in terms of knowledge. Second limitation. Then Raga is the desire. The desire actually is possible only when we have accepted a sense of limitation, a sense of incompleteness. Otherwise, why a person will get married? This is a very simple example. See? When a person is well educated, have got lot of money, total freedom, why should he want to get married? Because what a life without a wife. A sense of incompleteness comes. And then after getting married, a sense of complete destruction comes. See? So, this is what is called as raga, to fulfill the desires, and then kala, limitation of time. So this much only, I am not beyond that, I was recently born. Therefore ladies are always 40, maximum 40 years, not beyond that. Kala, and therefore the real time is divided into past, present and future. See friend, if you remember in Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, what Bhagavan says to Arjuna, Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravriddha. See, what is the principle of time? Principle of time is that which initiates all the modifications without itself undergoing any modification. When a seed is sown, it starts slowly swelling, germinating, growing. Again seeds are produced, fruits are produced, fruits fall down, again rotten, everything goes back to the soil. Who is doing this process? This is the principle of Kal. That which is initiating, supporting all the modifications and changes, that I am. Is it not? We have supported the growth of our body. We have supported our own foolishness. Nobody is required. So we are that Kala. And this Kala is eternal, it is unchanging. It cannot be divided. But this limitation of Kal is imposed by way of dividing the indivisible principle of time into past, present and future. And then we all the time talk about the past, present and future. Observe, these are the things, friends. If you want to really mean spiritual life, these are the things we should be 24/7 working on this. These things you don't get in books. If you observe, whether we talk or others talk to others, what they talk? We always talk about our past. I was here, I was there. And old people like me, they don't understand the basic principle. Nobody is interested in our past. But old people have no future. So they keep on talking about past. And then we feel bad, See, they just don't even listen to me. What is there to listen? See, any event of the past is of no value to anyone in this world. So, we divide the pure Chaitanya into three parts: past, present and future. Be attentive. So if you decide, then you will not talk about your past. May what happen? Give bluff. If you want to really be happy, learn to bluff. See? Like in my way of talking, in Hindi, हमारे पंजाब की बात है. So immediately people think I am from Punjab. तो सिर्फ पंजाबी हो, फट से आ गए. Sometimes in our Maharashtra, oh, you are a Maratha. So there also I bluff something. One lady caught me. Swamiji, what is this? Sometimes you see you are a Punjabi, sometimes you are a Maratha. Who are you? I said, actually, my mother is Maratha and father is Punjabi, therefore I am Paratha. घी लगा के खा जाओ. Once you do, twice you do, they get disgusted and never ask. Don't bring your past in the present. This is the only way to conquer the mind. In Varanasi, one elderly person, he is the editor of this Kalyan magazine from your Gita Press. Very nice person. Very good friend of mine. Very old also, almost 90. He said, Swamiji, you all the time insist not talking about the past. But unless we tell how our children will know, I said, Papa, before that you ask them whether they want to know. We only want to tell. Are? It is something like, giving lecture on Vedanta. Who wants to know the truth? Nobody wants. And the second is, when you talk about your childhood, be attentive. Childhood belongs to the body, not to you. So when we talk about childhood, we are reconfirming our body identification. See? Childhood is not belonging to the self that you are. You are beyond time. This is the Kanchuka, the covering on the self, Kala. So, when you stop talking about your past, don't take interest in your own past. The net result will be, you will not take interest in anybody's past. I'll tell you one example. 2 years before, I was in Badrinath with this Satya Sai Baba group. There were 108 of them, and I was a Merumani. And outside this, Balananda Tirthalaya ashram, there is some small, place for a cup of tea. He said, Swamiji, do you take tea outside? I said, take only outside. He said, why only outside? I said, I have no house. You may be thinking in your house when I take, I am taking in your house. For me it is outside only. He said, we don't know how to talk to you. Don't talk. No need. Then we were having a cup of tea. I was sitting, 3, 4, those elderly devotees sitting. And, Swamiji, how beautiful this place is, Baba told that if you go beyond this thing, there is, that place and there are all the Mahatmas are living and all that. Have you gone there? I said, no, I am a CH Atma, I am a Chota Atma, not a Mahatma. And when we were just talking something, one man suddenly from somewhere came. Excuse me, Swamiji, I watch you on TV all the time. I am so and so. I have got 2 children. Both of them are in USA, and I once in a while go there also. But now I am in a hurry. I am going. Okay, and went away. And we all were stunned. Now, who asked you? See, There is no need. Whenever we talk to others, we talk about the past. Past belongs to the body, not to the self. See? Similarly, when we talk about the future, we talk about the future to ourselves. When you are sitting and say, I hope when I go there, somebody should come to receive me, Suppose the train becomes late, then what will happen, Keep on imagining this, that will happen. And you go, nothing happens. Oh. Everywhere disappointment. See, friends, try these two things, you will transcend the mind. See, like nobody wants to die, the mind doesn't want to die. For the survival of the mind, it has to eat food. So like we have three foods, the carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Mind has got three foods. Past is the carbohydrate, see, future is the fat, present is the protein. So the past memories, keep on talking to keep them alive, or else they'll forget. Friends, forgetting is the biggest gift God has given us. Don't forget to forget. Most important thing. Take money from somebody. Forget. Somebody, wo paisa, what paisa? I give you. No, I don't know. He will suffer, you relax. See? So forget the past, don't worry about the future, and in the present, do not compare. Three things. Nirashi nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigata jvaraha. This is the principle. When you try this, then your bondage born out of the time will disappear. This is the fourth one. First was kala, part, vidya, incompleteness in knowledge, raga, desire, kala, the principle of time, and niyati. See, niyati is getting lost in cause and effect. How simple we get caught up. I remember when we were there in front of the Shiva temple, I was standing outside. One South Indian came with a complete makeup, the lungi and all kinds of vibhuti and dish antenna and Yagyopavitam Angavastra. He came. And after he came, he asked me this question. Why there is no Shiva, Shakti Stamba in front of Shiva temple? He asked me this question. And I never noticed also what is there. So, why it is like that? I said, excuse me, tell me slowly, I am hard of hearing. Tell slowly, I'll concentrate. Why there is no Shakti Stamba before Shiva? I said, I understood now. Now again say the same sentence without using the word why. He said, there is no Shakti Stamba before Shiva. I said, never mind, take darshan and go. Relax. Delete these two words if you want to be happy. One word is why, second is how. What we are doing, we are howling at the world and whiling away our time. Counter question, but why? And how? There is no end to that. This is how the mind survives. This mind becomes the real cause of all bondage. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktaye nirvishayam smritam. In the Amrita Bindu Upanishad, in Yoga Vasishta, these thoughts come. Mind alone is the cause of bondage and liberation. When it is objective in pursuit, it is the cause of bondage. When it stops being objective in pursuit, it is the cause of freedom. Because mind itself is consciousness. See? Consciousness plus objectivity is mind. Mind minus the objectivity is consciousness. Man plus woman is husband. Husband minus woman is man. Man becomes the husband. The husband can never become a man because he is already. We don't have to become divine. We are. Because of this jnanam bandha, we reduce ourselves from the sublime to the ridiculous. Therefore, these are the cause of bondage, three of them, avidya kama karma or jnanam bandha, then yoni varga bandha, kala shariram bandha. See? Nija ashuddhi samarthasya kartavyeshu abhilashidaha. Then we get so much involved in this world. Now, what is the foundation of this ignorance? So, fourth sutra, jnana adhishthanam matruka. Jnanam here, it means therefore limited knowledge. Knowledge which is not complete. It is not absence of knowledge. Limited knowledge means how it affects us. Like, once one Lions Club people, when they call, they will be giving introduction. And their giving introduction is only presenting their ability of a great orator. And when they have to present their oratory to the world, then they have to quote some, sher shairi, And when their shares are heard, the people say, oh, he is so well read. When they were introducing me, they can't say sher shairi. They have to quote Sanskrit sher shairi called as shloka. And then he told, Swamiji taught me in Bhagavad Gita, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. After everything was over, I asked him, I said, Mahatma ji, first of all, I never taught you. Second thing, this verse, Mana eva manushyanam Bhagavad Gita, which edition it is? Why? It doesn't come in Gita. I said, no. Wow, I thought every shlok comes in Gita only. Even I don't know. See, his statement was, even I don't know. That means when I do not know, how can it exist? See, this is how the bondage of knowledge. So whatever I know, that alone is the truth. If I do not know, it doesn't exist. See, friends. That is why here, on this path, what is required is the Shraddha. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparaha sayyate indriya. Shraddha is blind acceptance of the truth without experience. So, jnana adhishthanam matruka. So what is the adhishthanam? What is the foundation on which this knowledge is limited? So matruka. Matruka is the Shabda Shaktehe Achintyatvat Shabdadeva Parokshadi Sushupto Purusho Yadvar Shabdena Avabuddhyate. Bhagavan Shankara says, every word has got the infinite potentiality, infinite power. Shabda Shaktehe Achintyatvat, Achintya Shakti. We can't even think about it. And Shabdad Eva Aparokshadi. It is only by this potentiality of the words one is able to have direct experience of the truth. Example is given, Sushupto Purusho Yadvat. Like a person sleeping, if you call him by his name, he wakes up. So although he is in sleep, he should not hear. But the power of the words is so much that it can even awaken a sleeping person. When I was explaining this somewhere, one person said, Swamiji, you people tell Tattvamasi, nothing happens to us. We have heard it numbered. Even I have done japa. Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, kuch nahi hua. Where is the power of Shakti? I said, look here, you have to invoke the power. That is why, mantra sadhana, invoke the power. How to do that? I said, you go at 9 o'clock on Monday to Churchgate railway station. When whole Bombay is getting out of the train and running towards their work, you cross across or opposite and dash everybody. They will dash you dash. And you see some huge structure, strong fellow, a sumo brand, and stop him and ask him, you fool, where are you going? Then what will happen? I say, you'll see the Shabda Shakti. He'll give one heart, he will move 360 times. When an abuse can invoke such a tremendous Shakti, because he knows the meaning of the word fool. If you talk to a person, you fool, he will say, thank you. Because for him, fool means Hindi fool. In the same manner, when it is said Tattvamasi, if you understand the meaning, then the effect happens. See, friends, why our words do not become assertive is only because our words do not carry the meaning. They are only empty words. See? Like one example I had given somewhere. Suppose I take a paper and on that paper I write stone, S-T-O-N-E, and make a laddu and throw it to Munelal. He will say, oh, so you want a stone. Now when that paper, only with the word, without the meaning, is hit at him, it will not hurt him. But when the word stone is associated with the meaning, it will hurt me. This is the power of, mantra shakti. See? Therefore, jnana adhisthana matruka is this potentiality hidden in every letter of the Sanskrit language. See? There are different types of Shaktis. Karandhra Chiti Madhyama Brahma Pashavalambika Pitheshwarya Mahagora Mohayanti Mumurmuhu. According to this Shastra of the Shabda Shastra, be attentive, there are totally 8 types of letters. First is called as the Swara or Avarga. A, A, I, I, U, U, A, I, O, O, Avarga. And the presiding deity of the letters in the Avarga is Yogeshwari or Mahalakshmi. Then the second group of letters is Kavarga. Kakha Gaga, there it is the Brahmi Shakti. Then Chavarga, Cha Cha Ja Ja is Maheshwari. Then is the Tavarga, Ta Tha Da Dhana, it is Kaumari. Then Tavarga, Tatha Dadhana, it is Vaishnavi. And sixth is Pavarga, Papha Babhama, it is Varahi. And seventh one is Yavarga, Yara Lava, it is Aindri or Indrani Shakti. And eighth is Savarga, Sa Sha Sa Ha Ksha, it is Chamunda. So these are the powers associated with every letter. See, when you see Kali Mata, what is the picture of or the statue of Kali Mata that we see? Kali Mata is standing with the tongue out, and in her neck there are about 50 heads, human heads. A mala, rosary made out of 50 heads. These are this Matruka. Be attentive. When Prakriti manifests, Paramatma becomes subordinate. When Paramatma takes over, Prakriti disappears. See? Therefore, Kali Mata is standing with the tongue out, and below her feet is Lord Shiva. Shiva is the foundation, Adhisthana. Adhisthana of who? This all the Shakti Chakra Matruka. See, therefore in the Tantra Shastra, they have got Bija Mantra. Om Hring Klim Soho Chamundaya Namaha. So, these are the various Shaktis. They are responsible for deluding the seekers who are lost in this world. Therefore, according to Vedanta, what is the world? Asti bhati priya nama rupa iti panchamshakam adyatrayam brahma rupam jagad rupam tatodvayam. So what is the world? Nama rupa. Nama is sounds, words. This is the one. It is here, you have heard 100 times in Guru Stotra, Bindunada Kalatita Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Bindu is the beginning, Nada is the expansion, Kala is the shape or the form. That which is without beginning, without name and without form is Paramatma. See? But when you sit, hear some sound, or some sound comes, or you imagine something, and all these various preceding deities, they take over. And then we are taken away from ourselves. Therefore, one of the spiritual practices is keep your mouth shut, or make the silence as the object of your awareness. Right from childhood we are taught to name everything. And that creates knowledge. That knowledge binds us. There was a small child, I taught her. Her name was Manju. I don't know where is she now. She must be a mother also. So I taught her. Manju is a bad girl. She used to feel very good about it. And one day, when she did something, her mother got angry. Manju, you are a bad girl. Yes, Swamiji told me I am a bad girl. She had this complete understanding. Bad means good. So when you tell her bad, she is happy. Yes, Swamiji also told me I am a bad girl. So we associate these words with some kind of knowledge. See? One child learned in the school this near, far, short, tall, like that. And somebody came, he told me, Mummy, some lambu has come. Because that knowledge recently, tall, short. He was short in lambu. So some tall has come. This is how Matruka, they become the cause of bondage. And if we understand the correct meaning of that word, and the correct meaning is, every word begins from me, Mayi eva sakalam jatam, Mayi sarvam pratishtitam, Mayi sarvam layam yati, Tad brahma dvayam asmiham. This is the meaning of the word Brahma. Mayi, seventh case, Adhishthane, Saptami, Adhikarane, Saptami. So, Mayi, in me, everything is born. In me, everything exists. In me, everything goes back. That is the meaning of Brahman. If this meaning is not understood, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi. If you are a South Indian, Brahma, B-H-R-A-M-A. See? Yoga Sutra. This was done in South India. Sutra. Like a Luthra, a Sutra. Tha, there is no. And the time this it was where in Coimbatore, a stronghold of Tamilians. So, ka, kha, ga, ga, no difference. Ta, tha, da, da. Therefore, Hare Hare Nama Parvati Pade, Ghara Ghara Mahadev. Hare ke ghar mein Mahadev. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.